This KFAN podcast is sponsored by Builders and Remodelers, exclusive Twin Cities provider of Elements Windows. Get the highest quality windows at unmatchable value. Visit buildersandremodelers.com for more details.
Hey, what's up? It's Mario Lopez. Back to school is an exciting time, but it can also be overwhelming, and kids may feel isolated, a vulnerability that human traffickers can exploit. Human trafficking doesn't always look like what you expect. Everyday moments can become opportunities for someone with bad intentions. Whether you're a parent, teacher, coach, or neighbor, check in, ask questions, stay connected. Blue Campaign is a national awareness initiative that provides resources to help recognize suspected instances of human trafficking. Learn the signs and how to report at dhs.gov/Blue Campaign.
And boom!
Common man, no show prep, no solid plan. Spins a yarn, begins a tale. The esoteric approach won't fail. Tune in, it's time for Common Man. Common man, charms the housewives like no one can. What'd you shoot? Where'd we play? Non-stop nonsense on deck today. Tune in, it's time for Common Man.
Why should anybody aspire to be a common man, an average man? Do you realize what it means to be average? That means you're the best of the lousiest, and the lousiest of the best. Now, if we demand more and more for producing less and less, while the have-not nations encourage and inspire and indeed require hard work and maximum effort, if we deify the common men while they encourage and reward the uncommon ones, well, the end result of such a lopsided race as that is too obvious to require elaboration.
I mean, it's like, hello? Rosa, you don't know nothing.
I'm a fraud.
Yes.
Sometimes when you practice, you'll set up chairs. When you run 2 chairs and you show zone and stuff. The Viking defense looks like it's chairs.
We'll head to Buffalo, stay on the road. I think the weather, of course, having spent a lot of time in Minnesota, I understand the weather pattern. Pick up the Calcutta Clipper, swings down, swings up, lakefront influence, and out. I think we'll probably have about 45-degree weather, so it will not be a typical October 31st in Buffalo.
Playoffs? Did he mean playoffs? What are you talking about, playoffs? Did he mean playoffs?
I've seen enough out of Cousins, Paul. Put him on ice.
A dog with a note in his mouth should be able to sell those ratings.
I'm going to say something controversial.
That's interesting.
That was probably Zimmer being Zimmer.
Stand up, Ford Field! Stand up!
Super Bowl homeboy.
Say.
I was going to say, you doubted us, but now we're here.
Mark, they can pitch. They can hit. What is with, I mean, come on.
What am I? What am I? What am I?
He's the clown from Brown. He's the 4th in the North. This is the Common Man, Dan Cole.
You know, back in my radio disc jockey days when I used to spin hot stacks of wax from the top of the racks, if a song... Well, Denny Green once said it about one of his songs. I don't know if you remember this, but when Denny Green was a jazz drummer, the late Denny Green, he was a jazz drummer as well as a football coach. And he put out, when he first got to town, he put together... I have the cassette somewhere. That's how long ago it was. They were still doing cassettes. I have the cassette somewhere with a number of his songs. I think it was 4 songs. And one of them was called Moonlight. And he says, he intros it. There's audio intro where he goes, Wait till you hear Moonlight. Talk about number one with a bullet, and then they go into Moonlight, right? And it's a nice song, and Denny does a real nice job. But that's radio lingo for number one with a bullet, right? I mean, it's like a number one, top of the heap, start spreading the news. And so I'm not number one with a bullet, but let's say I'm number two with a bullet. And you're with me. I shouldn't say me. We've been together. No one would know. It's been 20 years. Only you and I knew.
Yeah.
No one else paid attention.
Not even an email.
Nope. Nothing from we have all sorts of coroners. We have a lot of those. We probably have more people with a title than we do actually employees. But nothing from my good friend Donnie Lonnquist. My close personal friend, Donnie, he's number one on the list. And then nothing from Swedberg or Abbott.
No.
Nothing from Emily, who generally never forgets those things. Now that, hey, congratulations on 20 years.
I mean, just like coworkers.
Yeah, even a coworker. Hey, 20 years together. That's real nice. Not a peep. And, of course, when the Power Trip celebrated their 20 years, well, it was like 6 months buildup. And then they had trips to Vegas and parties and
live broadcast.
Yeah, it was so much fun with the Power Trip morning
Big, huge giveaways.
Yeah. But let's just, I think we have a message for the Power Trip morning show.
Objects in your mirror may be closer than they appear.
And let's say it's close. Just say it's really, really close. Tenneby, today I have, are you familiar with this? Speaking of number one with a bullet, I bet this song went to number one. You're familiar with a band called the Eagles?
I am.
The Eagles.
Go Eagles.
Go Eagles. And they did Freebird. They did Whole Lot of Love. And they did Long Foreplay / Long Time. And they also had a song called Peaceful Easy Feeling.
Yeah.
And 2 days removed, I would call it a restless, uneasy feeling. And I'm not talking about the Vikings and J.J. McCarthy. I'm talking about the Minnesota Wild and
Kaprizov.
No! What's new on that front? Do we know? Do we have any indication?
I don't know if anything is new.
Okay.
Other than we know that Kirill and his side turned down the 8-year, $16 million a year, would have been a total of $128 million deal. Sounds like they have not countered. Now, just from reports, right? It's possible have countered and it just hasn't been reported yet, but I'm just going off of reports.
Okay.
There have been no reports of a counter. There has been some rumor speculation from trades, but I don't think that's been any actual reports. And actually, I saw today from a respected NHL reporter in Pierre LeBrun that there have not been any, like the Minnesota Wild, they're not discussing trade with anyone at this time. And so that all leads me to believe that.
Is this called speculation?
Yeah, this is just strictly my opinion. This is just me trying to read the tea leaves, right? Because the thought is with the Minnesota Wild that Kirill Kaprizov might not want to be here, that he wants to go win, right? To me, if that is the case, if he just flat out doesn't want to be here, then it makes sense for both sides to trade him before the season begins, right? Kirill doesn't want to go through another season. One, when you're on a team that you don't even necessarily want to play for anyway, right? And you're going to have fans turning against you. And you are risking injury, right? You're going another year while risking injury. Plus, for Kirill, if he wanted to go somewhere else, it's still beneficial for him to sign a contract before he gets to free agency next year. Because once he gets to free agency, he can only sign a 7-year deal. Now he could sign an 8-year deal. So it makes sense to do a sign and trade to where you want to go. Because that would be how he maximizes the amount of money he would make. So from Kirill's standpoint, if he doesn't want to be here, if that's the rumor, then he should be trying to, behind the scenes, orchestrate a trade as we speak. From a Minnesota Wild standpoint, if Kirill doesn't want to be here, you don't want to risk having him go the entire season and just lose him for nothing. So, and you don't want to risk playing him for a month, unsigned to an extension, and then he gets hurt, and now you've lost your trade value. So if he doesn't want to be here, it makes sense that you got to trade him before the season starts. And it sounds like there have been no reports of potential trade. So what I think is happening here is, I think, there's dominoes that fall, right?
Oh, domino.
You should do an open for a show with that song.
Yeah, I like that. Probably that was brilliant.
I think this is all because there are other players that are in the same shoes as Kirill Kaprizov right now. Connor McDavid
is overrated.
He's the top dog.
Yeah.
He is going to make the most amount of money. I think what's happening here, and this is just me trying to read the tea leaves, I think Kaprizov's camp, because they didn't counter the Wild. The Wild offered him what would be right now the most money ever given away to a player in NHL history, and they turned it down. I think what they're waiting for is McDavid to sign, because McDavid's in the same boat where he can be a free agent next year.
Okay.
I think they're waiting for McDavid to reset the market, and he might make a lot more than we think he's going to make, right? He might get up to $20 million a year. And now on Kaprizov's side, they can go, that 16 is not as much as we should be getting now.
Sure.
Now that McDavid has reset the market, we should be getting more. So that is just kind of my feeling right now is they are waiting out McDavid whenever, and this might lead up right up to the regular season, and that a contract will happen before the season begins, but it still might be some time because they're going to wait for McDavid to drop first.
I'm about to say something controversial.
That's interesting.
I think there's going to be both players are going to do a sign and trade. We're going to end up with McDavid, and Edmonton's going to end up with Kaprizov. Oh my God! Could you do that?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I don't know what else is in the trade, but certainly had 1-for-1. Yes.
Now you know what knowing you as well as I do, we've been working together close circuit to the coroner's office. 20 years we've been together. Knowing you like I do. You didn't get this from Russo or Lieber like Rosen would have. You're doing this on your own. You're speculating on your own.
My own speculation. It could be way off.
Yes.
Because I don't have inside reporting here. That makes some
sense. That certainly does make sense. Because we've seen it in the wide receivers in the National Football League, right? Where once one guy signs and the next guy signs and the next guy signs and here's a guy signing here. Old Sam Darnold had it. And so one guy always signs for a little bit more than the last guy. Yeah. And so while he propped Kaprizov, I don't think he'll get more.
He's not going to get more than McDavid.
But still, he can, like you say, if it's 20, he can go, you got to push me to 18 and get more money out of it. That could very well be exactly what's happening here. Because
like I said, if he didn't want to be here, that should have already been established now, right? I mean, these negotiations started months ago. And if you knew he didn't want to be here, you would have started having trade talks because that's not a guy you lose for nothing. We already did that once with Marian Gaborik.
Correct. So,
and I think they're just trying to squeeze every little bit of juice out of that lemon.
I love it. I love your speculation. And we are the kings of speculation. Speculation. We've been speculating for years. As we go to break, you sent me an interesting Viking nugget that I just find.
That's interesting.
You roll your eyes, shrug your shoulders, shake your head. And I do have a little bit of a consternation. Consternation. By the way, could you look up the word consternation? We'll have the definition after the break to make sure I'm using it properly. You know how when you have certain anniversaries, there are certain gifts made of a certain substance, right? You know how that works, like if it's your 10th anniversary or 15th. For a 20th anniversary, the traditional gift is China.
China.
In a just world, if the coroner's office cared, you and I would be broadcasting from Beijing right now. Hey-oh! Fast-paced, action-packed, and controversial. It's what we are. It's what we'll always be. Common Man program. Right here, right there.
Hey, what's up? It's Mario Lopez. Back to school is an exciting time, but it can also be overwhelming, and kids may feel isolated, a vulnerability that human traffickers can exploit. Human trafficking doesn't always look like what you expect. Everyday moments can become opportunities for someone with bad intentions. Whether you're a parent, teacher, coach, or neighbor, check in, ask questions, stay connected. Blue Campaign is a national awareness initiative that provides resources to help recognize suspected instances of human trafficking. Learn the signs and how to report at dhs.gov/Blue Campaign.
Would you guys consider anything less than a championship to be a failure from this year?
I wouldn't say anything is a failure, especially because we all grow every day. Obviously, the goal is a championship. There's no doubt in that, and that's the goal. We want to win a championship.
I'm Christina Williams, host of the podcast, In Case You Missed It with Christina Williams. The WNBA playoffs are here, and I've got the inside scoop on everything from key matchups and standout players to the behind-the-scenes moments you won't find anywhere else.
It's really, really hard to be the champions, but we have to remember how it feels and embrace the new challenge that we have.
For all the biggest stories in women's basketball, plus exclusive interviews with the game's brightest stars.
So to be here, I think it's one that we definitely don't take for granted. But we also know, that's just one stop along the way, and we're hoping to, make a run.
So listen to In Case You Missed It with Christina Williams, an iHeart Women's sports production in partnership with Deep Blue Sports and Entertainment on iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcast, or wherever you get your podcasts.
The power trip is headed back to the island. Join the guys at Treasure Island September 18th and 19th for 2 shows and parlay full of games, tons of laughs, and great prizes, including 2 trips to Las Vegas with the show in October. Use the promo code KFAN when you book your stay to save 20%. Get the full details now at KFAN.com, keyword calendar.
Sorry about that. I was tidying up the studio and I missed my cue, so I'll do it now. Power trip, yoga pads and breaths.
Oh, they cracked me up, those
guys. They do me
guys.
too. Just thinking about them, I laugh. Common and 10 to be here. Peek at the Purple, brought to you by Affordable Electric. Remember, you have right around 2 weeks to buy an EV if you want to take advantage of that $7,500 tax credit, because that goes away. And then you'll need a 240-volt outlet installed in your garage, and the folks at Affordable Electric can do that. Yes, they can. They can do anything when it comes to electricity. They're like Thomas Edison. Reach out to them today at affordable-electric.com. Affordable-electric.com. Affordable Electric is shockingly affordable. What did I do with my phone?
Uh-oh, you lost your phone?
I got a better story. I got another story of something I lost earlier today. And
your mind?
I was just about to interject before I said that. I lost my mind a long time ago, and I've never found it. By the way, if you find like a shriveled, looks half burnt, spongy thing that looks gray, that's my brain on drugs. Or, back in the days of the multicolored galaxy of uppers and downers and screamers and laughers. Do you have that tweet then that you sent me? It was a
sure,
because I
biblically bad.
Yeah, the biblically bad, that Vikings note about that game. It's never been done in the history of pro football.
The Vikings are the only NFL team in the Super Bowl era to have a game where they had under 200 yards of offense, failed to score a touchdown, took 6+ sacks, fumbled 4+ times, committed 4+ turnovers, had 8+ penalties, and allowed an individual 100-yard rusher.
Put that into a time capsule and bury it somewhere for the kids to find, for the Martians to find someday. Yeah, that's not good. And I started the program with a restless, uneasy feeling, and it's sort of like when my gadfly senses. Remember Peter Parker, the Amazing Spider-Man, and his spider sense would tingle. I'm a gadfly, so I have gadfly sense, and it tingles sometimes. And look, we're only 2 games in. There's a lot of football to be played, and I'm not saying it's over. My bit. Pitchers and catchers report in 6 months. I'm not saying that we're headed. We very well could be. And in fact, it seems more like that after 2 than it does like we're going to turn this thing around right now, do a Van Halen on it. I don't know what it is to me. I just don't have a good feel. And as part of it was because, as good as that fourth quarter was for McCarthy, we found out how bad the Bears' defense really was as Detroit just pounded them with 52 points. They were scoring at will. I know it wasn't all his fault. That offensive line. They had they were already down to Schooley, and then
you listened to Schooley.
You listened to Schooley, and then Schooley was out. So now you're down to your 3rd string left tackle, and that's. Other than quarterback, that's probably the most important position in pro football, because that's the guy that protects the blind side of the most important position in all of sports. And the center, he's in concussion protocol, so they were missing 2 guys. And, it was ugly. But I don't know, with the schedule looming after, I know right now is considered the quote-unquote soft part of the schedule, Cincinnati, especially with Burrow out now. And I mean, that does, and you're at home, so it's the battle of the backups. It's Browning versus Wentz. And then, it's across the pond, a couple of games, and Steelers, they're 1-1. They look really good game 1, but they were playing the Jets, and then they got beat by Seattle and didn't go as well, and A-Rod already staring down and yelling at a wide receiver. So that could already be blowing up in the Steel City. And then after that, the Browns, and they're the Browns. They're not very good either. But I just have this, and I hope I'm wrong, but I feel there's more dark cloud than bright sunshine. Would you agree or not necessarily? I mean, again, I know anything can happen.
I would agree 100%. The 7 of the 8 quarters we've seen from our young quarterback, he looks... well, not even just him, but to your point, like the entire offense has looked inept thus far. Hard to believe with the injuries they've got that that's going to get any better anytime soon. And as you mentioned, the next 3 games are all winnable. After that, the 4-game stretch out of the bye, it has to be as hard as any team in football, where you got the Eagles, who can win anywhere.
Yep.
At the Chargers, who won again last night, and they look like a different team. They look like a big game contender.
Yep.
At Detroit, not an easy place to play. Baltimore can travel. And even after that, right, you get Chicago at home, which should be very winnable, but then you got to go to Green Bay.
Yeah.
And then to Seattle. Seattle's an I team, and it's a hard place to play. Then you face the Commanders, who knows, if Jaden Daniels is healthy, I don't even know what his injury status is or how long-term it is, but if Jaden Daniels is around, that's a hard game.
Yeah.
Then you play 2 NFC East opponents on the road, but because they're both on the road, at Dallas, at New York Giants.
Right.
And then you finish with Detroit and Green Bay. Like, there's just not... The break in your schedule is supposed to be right now.
Correct.
Now, Atlanta at home is supposed to be one of the breaks in your schedule, and we didn't take care of business.
Now, this text message came in to the Bradshaw and Brian KFAN text line that says, Barney the Purple Dinosaur this morning indulged in the fantasy that Carson Wentz would win the next 3 games, claim the starting job for the rest of the season, and lead the Vikings to a Lombardo trophy. Now, did he go that far?
Are you surprised?
When Nordo pushed back a bit, PA reminded him that he has top-level sources in the Vikings organization. So they told him where Carson Wentz is going to be brilliant. He is going to win the next 3 games. He's going to get the starting job, and he will lead the soon-to-be big-game world champion Minnesota Vikings to a Super Bowl victory.
How long has he been here? 3 weeks?
3 weeks, yeah.
Like, I can't imagine he has the complete offense dialed in.
I said it yesterday, right after, and I'm embarrassed that we didn't break that news. You would think the audio home of the Vikings and all the insiders, we have somebody would have, if Rosen would have been here, he had his day off yesterday, he would have broke that news that McCarthy out for at least a week, high ankle sprain, could be longer. And after the news conference, we went to break and came back. I said this to me, and I truly believe it. Now, this is just for the here and now, not a week from now, a month from now, a year from now, whatever. I think Carson Wentz gives the Vikings a better chance to win than McCarthy does. And I don't think that's going on a limb. I mean, I'm not sure what we have in Wentz. We know what we had. We had a guy that was a 2nd pick overall from the South Dakota State Jackrabbits. I don't recall his rookie year, but his 2nd year in the league, he had Philadelphia headed to a big game. And then he was hurt. You were telling me, and my memory's bad, he was probably the front runner for most valuable player.
Like one of the 2. Yeah.
In 2017. But then Nicky Foles, Tom Brady's still bitter. He never went and congratulated Nicky Foles because he remember when he came, when they talked about that, and he had some lame excuse of why he didn't. And the real reason was he couldn't believe he lost to Nick Foles.
It was a poor sport, yeah.
Yeah, it was like the first time I lost a round of golf to you. It was the same exact thing. I knew exactly what Brady felt like. Yeah, you've got to be kidding me. That's not possible, right? And now, from that point, you've now had an experience that's not unlike that of a PGA Tour player. So now I don't feel so bad. I can say, so has Tenneby ever beat you? Yeah, but he's had an experience that's not unlike that of a PGA Tour player, so I feel pretty good about losing to him. Speak at the Purple, brought to you by our friends at Affordable Electric. For all of your electrical needs, they're like Tom Edison. Just reach out to them. It's simple. AffordableElectric.com. AffordableElectric.com. They are shockingly affordable. We'll be right back.
Hey, what's up? It's Mario Lopez. Back to school is an exciting time, but it can also be overwhelming, and kids may feel isolated, a vulnerability that human traffickers can exploit. Human trafficking doesn't always look like what you expect. Everyday moments can become opportunities for someone with bad intentions. Whether you're a parent, teacher, coach, or neighbor, check in, ask questions, stay connected. Blue Campaign is a national awareness initiative that provides resources to help recognize suspected instances of human trafficking. Learn the signs and how to report at dhs.gov/Blue Campaign.
Would you guys consider anything less than a championship to be a failure from this year?
I wouldn't say anything is a failure, especially because we all grow every day. Obviously, the goal is a championship. There's no doubt in that, and that's the goal. We want to win a championship.
I'm Christina Williams, host of the podcast, In Case You Missed It with Christina Williams. The WNBA playoffs are here, and I've got the inside scoop on everything from key matchups and standout players to the behind-the-scenes moments you won't find anywhere else.
It's really, really hard to be the champions, but we have to remember how it feels and embrace the new challenge that we have.
For all the biggest stories in women's basketball, plus exclusive interviews with the game's brightest stars.
So to be here, I think it's one that we definitely don't take for granted. But we also know, that's just one stop along the way, and we're hoping to, make a run.
So listen to In Case You Missed It with Christina Williams, an iHeart Women's sports production in partnership with Deep Blue Sports and Entertainment on iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcast, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Man.
Hey, Rubes. This football season, Bell Bank is giving one KFAN listener each week $1,000 to pay it forward to a charity of their choice. Just head over to KFAN.com, keyword contest to learn more and enter today. That's KFAN.com, keyword contest.
There are a number of ways to contact us here at The Fan. 1-800-320-5326 is our telephone number. 1-800-320-5326. If you're in jail and you have one phone call, don't call us, because we never answer anyways. I wouldn't even bother. Even if you just want to get on the air and talk, I would highly recommend you don't even bother. I don't check email anymore. That's sort of like the Pony Express. You're better off sending a carrier pigeon with a message. Really, seriously. Next would be Talkback, KFAN Talkback, iHeartRadio app. Search for The Fan, find it, put it on your, what do we set, presets? Do a preset.
Yeah, I got to put it on your preset.
Do it a preset, and then look for that microphone icon in the corner of the screen, tap it 30 seconds or less to deliver us an audio message. Then there's the ever-popular Bradshaw and Bryant KFAN text line. What's the number again? They took it down from the board. I don't remember.
64686.
64686. This comes from the 218. That NDSU bit is just so tired. I'm so tired. I haven't slept a wink. Do you know who did that song? Do you know the name of that song? What's that? It's called I'm So Tired.
Yeah, I'm So Tired.
Yeah.
I've heard it.
Yeah.
I don't know who it is.
Beatles. White Album.
That's who I would have guessed.
Yeah, Beatles, White Album. I haven't slept a wink. I'm so tired. My mind is on the blink. No, that's not it. He's going to fix himself a drink. Anyway, so my response was, I texted back. He says that NDSU bit is just so tired. I said, we're aware. But nonetheless, we would suggest you leave the radio to the professionals.
I always
We're aware
loved that one.
it's lazy radio. I'm tired all the time. It's what we do. How many times do I have to give this example? You know when Steve Martin was the hottest comedian in the country many years ago? And one of his classic bits, signature bits was, well, excuse me. Do you think he did that just once and never did it again? He did it every single show for years. We're only doing the NDSU bit a few times a year, so we're mixing it up even more than Steve Martin, and he's legendary. So I don't know what the issue is.
I will say the broadcast at the State Fair that we had was kind of an eye-opening experience for me because I think there are many, including people in the coroner's office, that get sick of the same jokes over and over again. Yep. I saw jokes that you repeat all the time performed live at the State Fair, and those were getting the biggest laughs.
That is correct. We really weren't that far out of that game.
Yeah.
Loved it. I mean, matter of fact, at first, Viking fans hated it, but I think they've just grown accustomed to it. It's far enough in the distance they can now.
Sure, we're over it.
Yeah, we can laugh about it now. You familiar with Trey Hendrickson?
Trey Hendrickson, yes.
Yeah.
Defensive end or edge rusher, Cincinnati Bengals.
Yeah. Who do we play this weekend?
Trey Hendrickson and the Cincinnati Bengals.
2024, he won the, I can't remember the name of the award. There's an award for who leads the league in sacks. He led the league in sacks in 2024. I don't know how many he had last year. He played as football for the Owls somewhere. I don't know. I just know the nickname of the school was the Owls. I don't think it was Temple, though.
The Florida Atlantic Owls?
Yes, the Florida Atlantic Owls. Third round pick.
17 and a half sacks last year.
Or as PA would say, 17 and a half. Ooh. As PA would say, he was Florida? What was the name of the school again?
Florida Atlantic Owls.
He was a Florida Atlantic product. A Florida Atlantic, it's like it was like he came down a conveyor belt. That's what they just produce edge rushers there. He's a product of Florida State. He's an owl. Who
day?
Who are you? Is it Justin Schooley? Do you know how to pronounce his last name?
I don't know how to pronounce his last name.
I apologize for that. Again, we're with the Viking station. I should know. I'm embarrassed. I don't know if he plays. He's got a concussion protocol. So that would be, I think, it would be Walter Rouse. And you roll his R. Did you know that? He clarified that in post-game interviews. Everybody's called him Walter Rouse, but he said it's Rouse. Walter Rouse. Again, Walter is, I'm sure, a wonderful human being. He's got talent. Who do you think's got the better of that matchup? Third string Walter Rouse or Trey Hendrickson?
I like Hendrickson in that matchup. I'm going to go out on a limb.
What's the over-under in the amount of sacks Hendrickson has? How many times does he bring Carson Wentz down? 3, 4? What's a lot in a game? 3's a lot.
3's a lot, right? Yes. 2's a lot.
Well, I'll take the over if it's 2.
What about 2.5?
Yeah, I'll take the over. I think he gets 3.
And how many hits? How many QB pressures?
How
many strip sacks?
Yeah, maybe there's a strip sack, maybe a fumble recovery, maybe even scoop and score tutty. Who knows?
We're basically gonna have Josh Oliver play the entire game, and then he's just not going to run routes. He's just going to be on the left side of Walter Rouse.
Walter Rouse. That's what we're going to have to do to try to. Or our right tackle is our good friend Brian O'Neill, right?
Yes.
Could we sign a left-handed quarterback here this week and start him? Because then the blind side for the left quarterback would be the right tackle, and then we got a guy that's really good. What do you think? As one solution.
I think the answer is a quarterback who can process the game and knows where the rush is coming from at all times. His name is Max Brosmer.
Hold on.
He thinks the game at a high level, higher than anybody.
PA said he was one of the 2 or 3 smartest guys. PA has his best friends list. He has his smartest guys list, too. And he ranked him I think he said he was the 2nd or 3rd, or maybe 3rd or 4th smartest person he's ever talked to. Who's on your top 10 most smartest list? Mine would be Greg Swedberg.
Yeah.
And followed by Chad Abbott. My good friend Donnie Lundquist. Those 3 are 1, 2, and they're interchangeable depending upon who.
Then I'd say Bob Pittman.
And then Bob Pittman.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Those are the smartest people I know. And then I should put my wife in there. She's a pretty bright gal. So anyway, what else was I going to tell you? Oh, so here's what happened today. You have an HSA card? Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. Health spending account.
Yeah.
and you put money into it, and then you have this little card. When you have certain medical expenses, you can use it to pay, right? So I had to go somewhere to pay today. So I got out of the car. This was right about 12 noon. I got there. I had the hour to play with. Went in, took care of business, got in the car, drove here, about a 12-minute drive from where I was, to the radio station here. And I always do that. You know me. I'm always losing something. Forget. I can't ask Barrero how many times I have to come back to the studio to find my keys, my phone, my card key. I always leave something, right? I'm very, and it, again, I think it all stems from spending my formative years on the corner of Haight and Ashbury, where I consumed a whole multicolored galaxy of uppers and downers and screamers and laughers. Did you know there's nothing more? Depraved, thank you. There's nothing more depraved than a man in the depths of an ether binge. Closed circuit to the 218. We've used that bit a lot, too, and that's getting very tired. I'm so tired. And so I got back here, found a really nice place to park, right on the main level near the door, and then I go through my checklist to make sure, card key. I have my sunglasses on. I'm out to make sure that I've got my other glasses in the glasses case. When I get up here, I've had to go down to the car before and get my regular glasses because I can't do the sunglasses inside. Notice that JJ does that everywhere he goes. Well, I'm talking about Jets.
Jets?
He wears them all the time. It's like, and it's not because his eyes hurt. He thinks it's a cool look. I got my shades on inside, in the stadium, when I'm being interviewed, in the locker room. It's like, yeah, you look cool and you got really expensive.
It's his brand.
Sunglasses, I guess it's his brand. That's okay. So I'm going through my checklist. Can't find my HSA card. I just had it. I tear the car apart. I look at the phone. It's 12:33. I got to go back. I'm figuring it fell out of my pocket in the parking lot. Race back to where I was, and guess what? It was laying there in the parking lot. It had fallen out of my pocket.
You've got to be kidding me.
There it was. Now, I don't know if anybody could take that HSA card and use it. I don't know if you were going to go pay a medical bill, you'd have to probably, maybe you have to, I didn't have to provide ID. I don't know if you have to provide ID.
Well, anything medical related, you're giving them basically name, birth date, social security, insurance information,
so
email, phone number.
Yeah. Okay. So no danger of it being somebody absconding. Did I just make up a word? Abscond? Can you look up that word? Abscond. 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 Is that even a word? We're about to find out. I've made up words before on the radio station. I speak a language called gibberish. Abscond.
To depart in a sudden and secret manner, especially to avoid capture and legal prosecution.
Oh, Sauce and I do that all the time when we leave a Flop, Sweat, and Tears show. That's why we called it the Grand Larceny Tour. This tour we're calling just a couple of petty thefts. No, just a couple of pickpockets, the Petty Theft Tour. But so no one would abscond with it and use it, but the hassle of having to redo it again, I was just so happy. Have you ever dropped like a credit card or your driver's license somewhere and gone back and found it? I've had that happen to me before in the past. Drop your driver's license, panic, go back, and there it is, laying on wherever you got out of the car, whatever it was. Also happened to me with a bag of dope one time, too. I got out of the car to go into the liquor store, came back, took off, was driving, couldn't find the bag of dope. I'm panicking because I'm sure my buddy's thinking I just stole it, keeping it for myself. Drove back, still sitting there in the parking lot. There were two cars on either side. Nobody saw it. It's just the things you do for love, man. I just don't even know what to think. Did you see the Twins? Did you see Simeon Woods Richardson? He was like a combination of Tom Seaver, Jerry Kuzman, and Nolan Ryan. Did he strike? Was it 9 or 11 Yankees?
It was 11, I thought.
11 Yankees he struck out. And he said something about, I remember hearing it from Dwayne Wade. This is our house. We have to take care of our house. I shouldn't admit this working at the All Sports station, but I just kind of glanced at the sports page in the story. Simeon Woods Richardson, he's got a Cy Young-like ERA at Target Field, and he's got a single A baseball ERA when he's away from. Just start him at home. Skip him in the rotation. Look, baseball's changed from the way it used to be anyways. It used to be people went 9 innings if they could go 9 innings. There was no such thing as a bullpen. Back in the olden days, there were guys sitting down on the other side of the left field fence waiting to be called in to pitch. They were all in the dugout, and the starter went as far as he could. I think that back in the day, the guy could give up 12 runs and he keeps pitching. Right? Now, so they just have the guy, you just look around and go, who wants to pitch? Bill, do you want to go? Go in there, Bill. Now that's all this specialty stuff.
Everything's structured now.
Yes.
Right? I mean, you see heck, we do with our own children. We structure all of their activities. They don't have any time now to just go out in the yard and, go play with an anthill or something, right? Like everything's structured. You're going to be doing this time. And that's the way Major League Baseball managers operate. Instead of having the thought that you do, which is this guy pitches much better at home, we'll pitch him on this game. Then he's going to get 9 days rest, but then maybe we can pitch him a couple different times here in this home series.
Yep.
Because it's, every starting rotation you pitch, and then you got to do your little routine, and then 5 days later you're going to pitch again and do your same routine where you're doing a bullpen here on this day and you're resting this day. We got to have human beings that can adapt a little bit more. Not everything's got to be structured.
Which is why this show is very unstructured for that very reason. We think outside the box, or it could just be the host is really lazy and the producer who occasionally still tries to put a little structure into the show. I think you've just given up on that. You'll text me to do this, do that. And I'm just like, I just don't know if I want to do that.
My favorite is when I run into people and they'll be like, like in the morning, right? Like, what are you going to talk about on the show today? I'm like, my host doesn't even know what he's going to talk about 1 minute left in a commercial break.
That's true.
Coming back from break, he doesn't know what he's going to talk about.
This looks good. Or maybe if I can, maybe I can. The best is if I find a text message ripping PA. That's the best. Or Rosen, because then that's a whole segment right there. Yeah. So, here's a cheap shot against, I thought it was against me at first, but it's a cheap shot against PJ Fleck. Have Gophers players on Gopher Weekly every week. Much better. Some real talk.
Wow.
There was also another text message that came in that said, Grim does a real good job on the PJ Fleck show. No mention of Gartsy. Just Grim does a great job of it. No mention of Gartsy. So I don't know. I don't think that's going to hurt his feelings or anything. But
I feel like the Gophers typically lose going into the bye week because that's always when you want to hear from PJ, see how he would react to the loss,
yes.
And then he's not nowhere to be found.
J.J. Jefferson sent Meat Sauce a gift box that included his Oakley sunglasses as well as his signature cereal. He gave the glasses to Max. Sure that Common and Tennessee like sunglasses and cereal and a package from the Vikings, but everyone loves Sauce. Did he really get a package?
I would just take the cereal.
Yeah. I'd take the Oakleys. What's a pair of Oakleys going to go for nowadays? Got to be a couple $100 for sure.
Well, I know when we were out at training camp for the joint practices, which you did not attend, do you remember the previous television simulcast that they were talking about JJ's? JJ was on, he was on the simulcast, and he had the glasses on,
right?
And PA was like trying on the glasses or whatever. And then while we were at training camp for the joint practices, PA got a box delivered to him from the Vikings, and it was from Justin Jefferson that had his signature sunglasses. PA just got a box of his sunglasses.
I'm going to start talking about JJ's contract. Maybe they'll send me his contract.
Well, how about all his bling bling jewelry?
Yeah. That's another thing. And look, I love him, and to each his own, and whatever he wants to do, that's who he is, right? Where he's been, where he's going, where he's at, right? People often wonder, there was a time I used to wander around wearing a golf club no matter where I went. I just never took it off. Why are you doing that? People would think that's odd. That would be like, why are you wearing a golf club outside of the golf course? Just like, why is he wearing sunglasses indoors? That's just what it is. So he can do what he wants. But same thing, I think the jewelry he's got all the bling.
Yeah.
How much money do you think that's worth around there? I mean,
6 digits.
For sure. I mean, it looks like something Cleopatra would wear, for crying out loud. It looks like he's a pharaoh of some sort. It's just, and if you've noticed, his head kind of hangs down. It's so heavy. It's like, maybe that's affecting him so far this season. Maybe that's the issue, is wearing the bling.
Not just a JJ thing, but like athletes in general, lots of them, especially in football, wear the necklaces, the chains around. I've never understood that in a sport where, especially if you have the ball in your hands, guys are grabbing at you. Like someone could be tearing that chain off as they're attempting to tackle you. One, you're going to break your chain, and two, that's going to hurt. I don't understand why you just don't keep that in the locker.
And three, if it's 24 karat gold, diamond encrusted, you're going to lose hundreds of thousands of dollars out in the field because you can't call a stop to the game and start looking around, rooting through the turf to try to find your diamonds, rubies, emeralds. Tim, you're more of a diamond, emerald, or ruby kind of a guy. Did you know Jack Ruby was once described as a low-level loser?
Really?
I have been described as exactly the same, and I don't mind. It's okay. Just describe me when you do. We'll take a break. We'll come back. The legendary Mark Rosen joins us next. Common Man, Robert right here on the van.
Hey, what's up? It's Mario Lopez. Back to school is an exciting time, but it can also be overwhelming, and kids may feel isolated, a vulnerability that human traffickers can exploit. Human trafficking doesn't always look like what you expect. Everyday moments can become opportunities for someone with bad intentions. Whether you're a parent, teacher, coach, or neighbor, check in, ask questions, stay connected. Blue Campaign is a national awareness initiative that provides resources to help recognize suspected instances of human trafficking. Learn the signs and how to report at dhs.gov/Blue Campaign.
Come on. Why is this taking so long? This thing is ancient.
Still using yesterday's tech? Upgrade to the ThinkPad X1 Carbon. Ultra-light, ultra-powerful, and built for serious productivity. With Intel Core Ultra processors, blazing speed, and AI-powered performance, it keeps up with your business, not the other way around.
Whoa, this thing moves.
Stop hitting snooze on new tech. Win the tech search at Lenovo.com. Lenovo. Unlock AI experiences with the ThinkPad X1 Carbon, powered by Intel Core Ultra processors, so you can work, create, and boost productivity all on one device.